works. I need to switch that. Anyway. I need to be reborn and then find me somebody like Anna White. Not Vanna, Anna. How the fuck that girl exists is just insane. I mean, I don't understand how. And she looks like she's a trust fund baby. This is one of my little Instagram crushes. And I just, man, I don't blame her at all. If I was that girl and I could, make whatever money she makes off of just posting pictures of her traveling around the world and living a fucking great life, if I could do that, I would. Not all power to them. Any broad making money on Instagram, good for you. And I honestly, like, the whole naked shit, like, it's one thing if you're shoving shit up your snooch or in your ass, like that takes it to a different level. But like the most beautiful sculptures in the world are those of naked bodies, right? Like, why do we think the naked body, especially the female naked body, is so bad? Ooh, it's so bad. We shouldn't look at it. You gotta cover yourself. Oh my God. You gotta cover yourself. What if kids see that you're a person and that people exist and have bodies? People are fucking stupid, man. The world is such a crazy fucking place like that. And people are just so stupid. And we've been, like, bred to be stupid. Like seriously, what, just like with anything else, what is it that like, if you're somebody that's like, oh, female body's disgusting, it needs to be covered up and all that, like, why? Especially you Muslims out there, Well, now that she's married to me, nobody else is even allowed to see her face. You see these women walking around with, like, the mesh goggles on and shit. What a weird situation. Especially since a lot of those times, those women are large. You see, like, not tall, but large. And you just think, like, dude, nobody's, like, trying to get that. You're safe, dude. Because she's 10 pounds of crazy in a 5-pound bag. I just feel like we are just, like, we're in a loop. Saying the same things, trying to find the subtle little things that I'm wrong about. Like, again, I always compare it to boxing, but, if I was training for a professional fight, I would do the same shit every day. I would throw the same punch 1,000 times a day. And hopefully there would be people there to watch me and to see, do I throw that punch properly every time? Do I drop my hand a little bit more than I should and leave a window open to get countered? Or, that's what all this is about. Trying to get to a better, bigger, louder position. So, and when we do, to not fall apart. To not be overwhelmed by it. Well, that just fucking happened. That's crazy. It's a little slick outside. It's a little slippery. Somebody had went off the road. And I could still see their tire tracks like they were brand new. I could see where they went off the road and then where they came back on. And the where they came back on is the giveaway. Oh, lordy. This, we end up with no viewers. By the time I get home, I can just drop this shit. I don't have to do this for very long today. I try to give to those who are willing to receive. I'm so just mortified by what's going on. It's crazy. And it's this, maybe if I say it enough times, maybe if I do enough videos saying the same thing, asking the same question, maybe somebody will actually provide an answer one of these times. You think that's possible? I don't know. I mean, I know so far it hasn't worked out. So far, I've been extremely justified in everything that I think. The little bits and pieces where I think, man, that don't make no sense, or whatever it may be. There's nothing that's happened where I've been like, oh shit, I guess I was wrong. And that's, in this world full of lies and misconceptions and misdirections and all that, you have to get your truth from somewhere. And how do you decide what's true and what's not if you don't have some sort of system in place? And that's basically all it comes down to, is this system of checks and balances here. What are we doing? How do we make this work one way or another? I find it strange, man. I think it's such a weird thing to be the outsider, the one that thinks more independently, and there's so much resistance. Like, it's strange, or there's no resistance, actually. I mean, like, the fact that I am the outsider, I am the one going against the grain, and I'm like swimming against a sea of people, but nobody's even saying anything. They're like blind, deaf, dumb lemmings just walking off the cliff, and you just think, like, what's happening to you? Why are you like this? It's the strangest thing. As much as I dislike things and disagree with things and all that stuff, I know that silence silence says a lot. And I know that experience says a lot too. When you look at what's been happening, and you look at how everything works and how it's always worked, and it's just strange. The Bible is to me such utter shit. Just shit. People say, have you read the Bible? No, I can admit I haven't read the whole Bible. You know why? Because it's such a tedious read. It's so awful and boring and confusing and just stupid. That's the thing, is most people aren't, like, even if they're sort of like, they're I guess they're worried about feelings or some shit. But To me, I don't, how can I hurt your feelings if what I'm saying is false? You know? So I don't worry about it. If you don't believe me, or what I'm saying isn't real, like if I say the Bible is stupid and that's not true, well then what do you care? The only reason you get upset is because you know I'm wrong and you don't have a better answer. You don't have a better argument. The main reason, the main fucking reason, it's not the impossibility of it. It's not this, that, it's the lack of evidence, the you know, the results, you know, the servitude, the master plan behind the scenes and all. It's not like all of that stuff contributes, but the main reason why I'm not religious and you know the Bible, it's like the main reason is because it's so stupid. Like, think about it. Like, I use this same, you know, wording all the time, but I think the Bible is as stupid as Christians think Islam is. You know, as dumb as you think Islam, the Quran and Muslim, you know, Muslims, all that shit. As dumb as you think that is, I think your thing's just as dumb, if not, you know, dumber. I mean, I don't know the levels by which you think definitively, but I know it's all really fucking dumb. And the reason, like, you know it's dumb, that's why you don't want people questioning it. That's why you get mad and you attack people that do question it. Instead of just answering the questions and you know, trying to help someone understand something, and like you would in virtually any other situation. Like, somebody's like, man, you know, I bought this table from IKEA and I have to put it together, and you know, I'm having trouble with the instructions. Nobody's like, "Brah, you're a terrible person. You're gonna go to hell then, because you might as well just throw the whole thing away if you're having trouble with it." Well, people will ask you simple questions. Did you look at this? Did you do that? Did you look online maybe? Here, I could come help you. Do you have all pieces? You know, like little things. And nobody get offended. You know, if you ask that person, well, do you have the instructions? They'd be like, yeah, I have the instructions. I'm just having trouble with it. I'm having trouble putting it together. Nobody would think anything of it. They might think you're kind of dumb, like, you can't build things. You're so helpless. You're one of those people who just, you can't build things. You're not good with your hands. Haha. That would be the extent of it. That would be the, you know, that'd be about as far as someone would go. But nobody's gonna, like, kick you out of the family or you know, report you or whatever. I don't like you, well, aww. Eric. Good old Eric. Or the way you behave. Well, you know what? You can go fuck yourself. I couldn't care less what you like or don't like. And for you to go out of your way to say, I don't like you, person who thinks we should kill pedophiles and eliminate the J control scheme, makes me wonder who you are. Because, you know, seems like a weird thing, weird hill to die on. All the shit you could be looking at, all the shit you could be not liking, talking your little rabbit shits. You can't speak to me that way again. I can't? Go fuck yourself, you goofy coward, goofy pedo. I don't even know. Again, I hate to just throw that term out there so frivolously, but I really can't understand why anybody would, you know, Like, to be this motivated. To be so motivated that you actually make the fake profile and then come here and you try to get your attention and all that shit. Like, you have to be pretty fucking motivated. I'm not even being rude like you. You started by saying I don't like you. Are you okay? Like, if I'm picking on the special kid, let me know, because I'll stop. I don't want to do that. Where is that breeze coming from? That is weird. There's like a breeze, a cold breeze coming from somewhere. I can't find where, but I can feel it. Maybe it's a ghost. I have the right to not enjoy you well. Who said you didn't? See? I love when people are too dumb to like answer actual questions, or basically they know they're wrong, so they start answering questions not being asked or responding to things not said. It really is stupidity. Please tell me you're not, English isn't your first language, right? You're a foreigner, right? You're not from the United States. You can't be from the United States and be this dumb. Augo, how's it going, man? Open-minded. What's happening? What's happening? How you doing? You keep on knocking, but you can't come in. If you ever say that again, you won't like it. Oh, I bet I will like it. Go fuck yourself. Fuck off. You're a tool and a doofus. And I like that a lot. You were wrong. You said I won't like it, but I like it. I think it feels good, feels right, feels natural. Feels like the right thing to say. I'm going to get my boyfriend in here. Are you gay? What's your boyfriend gonna do? You think your boyfriend is going to say something to me that's gonna make me be like, oh shit, Eric isn't a piece of shit, pedo, dumb fucking goofball? What could your boyfriend possibly say? He's over 6 feet tall, actually. So? Like, this has got to be one of the funniest trolls I've seen. At least you're doing something different, because you can't really, like, this can't be real. It also seems like the right thing to tell our government. Go fuck yourself. Good old go fuck yourself. I can't believe how long I've known that. That's fucking wild. You can't tell me to just fuck off. Eric, fuck off. No, I did it again. I can. It's no problem. We have been set up for failure. Oh, yeah. But see, this is where, like, you have to really, like, look deeper, right? This isn't communism, I have certain rights. You mean like I have the right to tell you to fuck off? Oh, man. Seriously. You're not a real person being like this. This is a troll, right? Please tell me this is a troll. Because, seriously, this is embarrassing. But you have to look at it from the perspective of Palestine. Like, think about it from this side. Just Palestine. Palestine is such a great example of everything that's going on, right? Because the one thing that never ever gets talked about, it's a weird thing, but it'll start getting talked about now that I mention it. You'll start seeing more and more people, truthers, talking about it for some weird reason. But Israel could have taken out Palestine a long fucking time ago. Like, immediately. You know, they took 86% of it. They could have took the other 14%. So why didn't they? And again, I present analogy for explanation, but if you had a big farm full of cows and you wanted one hamburger, would you kill all of the cows? Would you think I'm probably going to want another hamburger at some point sometime soon? Right? You don't have a farm that you just decimate once. You have a farm so you can continue farming it. Right? My boyfriend is home for Thanksgiving. I really couldn't care less about you or your dumb fucking boyfriend. You know, you can both fuck off. You can both eat whole bags of dicks. I don't care at all. Like at all. Oh, hey, the crazy guy again. We need the world on flat. Oh, hey, it's the Matitza Buffet pedo who thinks raping children is cool. And apparently is also dumb enough to think the earth is round. Based on nothing. But yeah, we have these pedos here. Excuse me, you will not say that. I just did say that. Fuck you and your stupid fucking boyfriend and everything you stand for. You are, dumb pieces of shit. You okay now? Is everything good? You okay? But that's what I'm saying. Like the reason why Palestine still exists is, I believe, for ritual purposes. Ritual purposes, but also enjoyment. I believe they thoroughly enjoy suffering. Oh, you're getting me? Oh, okay. You got me. They thoroughly enjoy suffering. I think they especially ritualistically, they have the blood that needs to be spilled all the time. But they enjoy it. They enjoy, pitting people against each other, watching animals kill each other. They enjoy the worst things that most people, it's like Vietnam, right? The Vietnam times, they insisted on showing us like endless footage of horrendous shit, because in their minds, that's how they see the world. Very much an eye for 10 eyes kind of thing. But they thought if they showed us pictures of war, footage of war, we would enjoy it. We would be like they are, and yeah, kill him, yeah, I like war. And I there was this one. So a few years ago, the narrative that they were trying to pull off, or they were pulling off, was that Hezbollah, Hamas, whatever group they were using at the time, I think it was Hamas, was sending incendiary devices over the wall. Again, certain details are just sort of ignored in this story. Like, over the wall means there's a wall that makes the Berlin Wall look like a fence. It's the Israel Wall is just insane. You ever see that movie, the Brad Pitt Z movie, the zombie movie, where the only safe place in the world was Israel because it had that giant fucking Palestine wall around it? Like, it's not a secret. It's not It's crazy that it's so obvious and it's so in your face, and you're not supposed to talk about it, right? Operation Z was that? But I forgot what I was saying. I keep going in my analogies and forgetting where I'm going. But it's all about maintaining the farm, right? World War Z, that's what it was. I'm over here. Yeah. You're a fucking pedo. Who gives a shit what you want to do? So I think when it comes down to the narrative we have, understand that, like, you know, they could have taken out Palestine a long time ago, and to the point where in 2025 we wouldn't even talk about it. It would just be a distant memory of you know, of remember what was there before Israel? Like, it wouldn't even be talked about. And if they wanted it to be, it wouldn't even be talked about. It would have just been eliminated. And then eliminated from the school books and all that other shit. That's just how they do it. But they left it there. They left it for reasons. And I think that's sort of what everything is. You know, I don't, when it comes down to the friars, they're not suffering. There's nowhere where friars are suffering. They're injustices. They're not allowed to exist. They're not allowed this. They're not, you know, like, they love to talk about the old pogroms of back in the day, and, you know, Tsarist Russia had its, like, I love this idea that they were given their own neighborhoods, and somehow that points to them being oppressed. They were given their own neighborhoods where they could do whatever they want to. Why am I disrespecting Eric? Because Eric's allowing me to, you stupid fuck. How can you be this stupid? But again, you know, these are the distractions. This is this type of shit they want us talking about instead of what I am talking about. And so I think you need to really, like, step back and look at things differently, trying to understand what's going on. By the way, if you're watching this, like, share, and sub, help out. They go to great lengths to censor me, and there's nothing I can do about it. So I need your help. I need you to override the censorship for me and take 2 seconds and click share and share it on Facebook. And if you're scared of the repercussions because I say things that people don't like, then you could title it, you know, this guy's crazy, come tell him how he's crazy, something like that. But share the video, like, share, sub, all that shit. He has autism. You made him start to cry and he called the hospital. Yeah, okay. And then you were like, well, I'm going to go on there and go tell him, because that makes sense, right? It makes sense that you would tell me about all of, like, how stupid do you have to be? This is the best you can come up with. And you have to think, like, shit like autism, mental issues, crazy, that's friar fodder. They're the ones that think that shit's funny. They're the ones that think mental illness is funny. They're the ones that think, you know, autism is funny, making jokes about that's them. And it goes all the way back to the thing that, again, nobody seems to talk about, which is the auto-emancipation pamphlet. People love to talk about the Balfour Declaration, but nobody talks about the auto-emancipation pamphlet. You need to have more sensitivity. Ask my wife. No, I don't. But My dude clit is sensitive enough. Thank you very much. Oh. Thank you, driver. I'll need your services again soon. Gotta love the driver. He's such a good driver. He or she is such a good driver. Oh, are you a happy dog? Do you have all of your little toys around you? Okay. Nathan! Trash!
No, Mom said you do it. Mom did say.
I'll take it out. You need to put the bag back in. And you need to put the trash can together. I'm enjoying you. Who are these fucking weirdos? Why do I have to do this? You can't do this? Not really. Because she 10 pounds of crazy in a 5-pound bag. He got sensitive and started crying. So stupid. Like, autism isn't funny, but the idea that this is the best that you can come up with, that's funny. It's sad, but it's funny. Nathan, trash can.
She goes, I hate it as well. Yeah.
Joanne Fabrics. You seriously went through all of those?
Oh.
Yeah.
Second one.
Third.
No, second.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, third.
There you go. Oh, the health? Health?
I just got done ice skating. Whee! Are you Arabian or something? What? Who says shit like that? Are you Arabian or something? Like I said, English isn't your first language, right? You guys can't be this dumb. Oh shit. Let's see. Is that the way you think? I mean, the whole thing is it's none of it is as complicated as people want to make it out to be. You know? And it's probably just an excuse, really. You know, if you make it super complicated, then you could say, "Oh, it's too complicated for me. I'm not very smart. I couldn't figure it out." You know? Somebody pulled a button there.
Oh my god. So I met Tony through Chris. Chris rented Tony's house when she was renting a house on Beachdale. Then I met Tony at Branch Line.
You ever see in All in the Family when Edith starts telling a story and Archie's like, all right, we're off to the races.
Shut up.
And everybody's like, what do you mean?
Please. This
And
is unbelievable.
so Archie will say, okay, we're rounding the corner. And people are looking because they're like, wait, so you're saying it was this? And he goes, no, we're only halfway through. Here we go, watch. We to the gates.
So I met Tony again at Branch Line.
Again at Branch Line. I know who this person is, yes?
Right.
Yeah.
Yesterday we were talking about doTERRA.
Uh-huh.
So she messaged me this morning, asked me how much it was all going to be. So I sent it to her. She said, give me your PayPal. Gave her the PayPal, and I said, it's under my mom's name. You know, this was my mom. She goes, is that related to the flowers? I'm like, yeah, that's my dad and his brothers. His grandpa started it. And she goes, they were related to Joanne Brown, right? That was their cousin. And I said, yeah, my cousin David was my favorite. I fell off a roof and died when I was in college, and just out of college, and she was his fiance when he died. Like, I met her all those years. Like, I was the reason Dave got sober. She met him when he just got out.
You fell off a roof and died?
David did.
Oh.
That was her fiance. I met her. Like, I loved her because she helped stay sober. This is unbelievable.
How can a female help someone?
That was Dave.
How can a female help someone stay sober, yet they're not responsible for them not being sober? It's a weird thing to say. Because if
they helped each other because
but the point being, if you say somebody, well, she's the reason I stayed sober. She was there. She was this, that, and the other. Blah 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 blah. Everybody will be like, oh my God, that's amazing. She's such a great person. Yada yada yada. But if you say, I tried to get fucking clean, but this bitch was just always nagging me and wouldn't help me and all that other shit, it'll be like, nah, you made the choice. You chose to do it. You could have stopped at any time. That's how. It's weird how people like to do that.
I begged him to come to state because he started fucking with crack and it was getting bad. And
is this a conversation that we could have after the fact?
I am blown away.
You always are.
How crazy is that? The universe has brought me Tony 3 times.
We're crazy. Wow.
That's nuts.
Nuts. So crazy. My wife, she loves finding signs and shit.
Oh, that's not finding signs. That's in my fucking face.
If she sees it, it's a sign. It's smacking you in the face. If I'm like, holy shit, do you see this? She's like, man, it's nothing. It's nothing. We're literally, she's pregnant, and we're walking the dog, and we're like teetering on things getting better, things getting worse. And I'm going, you know that you're the key to this. You're the thing. I do my thing really well. The other pieces are in place. We just need somebody with your particular skill set to handle this really particular job. This isn't like a job that anybody can do. It's very specific, and your specific skill set, if you look at everything you've ever done in your life, it's led you to here. Each little piece is something that you could take from and put it towards this and be the best you could be. And as I said, and I'm getting mad at him, and she's just, she's blowing it up. And I'm like, God damn it, why don't you see it? And as I said that, a bug flew and hit her in the eye. And I was like, holy shit, a bug just hit you in the eye as I'm saying, don't you see it, that you're the key to all of this, how important you are. Because again, I'm always talking bad and I'm always so mean. You're the most important piece in this. Don't you see it? The bug hits you in the eye. You don't call that a sign? Nope, that's not a sign. No. That's just me being stupid. We do what we want to do. We see what we want to see. We believe what we want to believe. This person that comes on here just about every day says, this guy again. Well, you came to this feed like you do every other day, so what were you expecting? Something different? You were expecting someone else when you clicked on this feed? See what I mean? It's just stupidity. The main thing, the main challenge in all of this is stupidity. It's everywhere. And so now my wife's going to become besties with this broad, and this broad is very tedious.
I've already been talking for the last couple of years.
Okay. See? I don't know what I'm talking about. There's a difference between you being besties and just talking, because you guys talk periodically. Very, very periodically up until very recently. But now you will become bestie buddies. And you know, this is one of these, you know, it's one of these broads. Like, I think it has to do with her age range, where they're constantly trying to prove like she's one of the reasons why when I'm in public I call my wife fat girl or chubby. Because she's the type who'll be like, oh, you can't let him disrespect you like that. Why would you let a man ever disrespect you like that? She wouldn't. She would laugh if it was us and she knew us. But if it was some other situation, she wouldn't. She's very much the power, like, I can do anything you can do better kind of chick. And I can't stand those broads. Oh, is it meth again? Oh, we have an Abercrombie, so you know that's a chosen piece of shit, friar, genocidal pedophile. You see that kind of name on there? You know, these are all friars, man. These are friars who can't make any reasonable arguments any way whatsoever. But they have a job to do. They want to get their points. You know, they want the TV prize or the trip to Israel prize or whatever prize is up this week. And so they're trying. What's up? That's not my real name. Of course it's not. You guys do fake profiles. I know. But I'm still sure you're more than likely a friar, because this is how you friars do things. You don't engage in what the topic is or debunk or express your superior intelligence. It's always dumbass crybaby shit. It's from a Primus song, so you couldn't even come up with your own shit. You have to bite somebody else's racist bullshit. Eat Zebo. Yeah, that's what you could do. I mean, again, look at this shit. Oh, I'd never fuck with concentrates, man. No, thank you. All natural, goody good, the way it goes. I don't need anything. It doesn't need to be better. It's pretty fantastic the way it is. But this is another example of exactly what I keep saying. You know, it's not like people come in here and tell me that I'm wrong about stuff because of this, that, and the other. They have reasons why they believe one thing or another. Like, when you stop and think about it, do you ever even question that? Why do you believe what you believe? You know? Why do you believe in Jesus? Why do you believe that you're in, you're on a ball spinning around, flying through endless space and it's infinite and all that? Why do you believe that stuff? Why do you believe in germs? I'm not sure if anybody likes you. Oh, that hurts my feelings. I mean, there are 7 likes on this video that 10 people are watching. So technically, I have 70% of my viewership. By the way, if you're watching, like, share, and sub, it helps. Psychosis can't be argued. Go. Showing their true colors. Showing those blue and white colors they like so much. So for those who don't understand what I'm saying, you have to go back to the auto emancipation. So, auto emancipation, okay. Auto emancipation is a pamphlet written in German by a Russian, Polish, Jewish doctor and activist Leon Pinsker in 1882, long before your Balfour declarations, long before all that other stuff. You're probably homophobe. You're probably homophobe. I'm probably homophobe, Ange. It is considered a founding document of modern Jewish nationalism, especially Zionism. Pinsker discussed the origins of anti-Semitism. I mean, immediately. You see how this is immediate. And argued for friar self-rule and the development of a friar national consciousness. He wrote that friars would never become the social equals to non-friars until they had a state of their own. He called on friar leaders to convene and address the problem. In the pamphlet, he describes anti-friar attacks as psychosis, a pathological disorder and an irrational phobia. Of all of the words available for this person to use, they happen to use the exact wording, right? The exact wording. Because they're all connected. There's something called the Secure Community Network that, according to them, connects 90% of American friars. 90% of them are connected through one app. Multiple apps, but just this one app, this one quasi, what do they say? It's quasi-official government agency, or this quasi-official agency that is the liaison between the friars and the police and it's such a crazy thing. You need a rainbow painted in front of your trailer. Yes. Yes, my 2-story trailer. You've literally watched me walk up and down stairs now at least 3 times. I have one of those 2-story trailers. It's not even a double wide, it's a double tall. A double tall trailer. They're new. You haven't heard about it. You have to be like super, super poor white trash. Look, this is the best they have, right? This is the best they can come up with. That bunk homegrown you got you believe in some weird stuff. Yes, it is so weird for me to think we should kill pedophiles. It is so weird for me to think we should know our history and the reasons why we think the way we do. What a crazy person I must be. Have you ever heard of the Dunning-Kruger effect? Why aren't you falling victim to it? The Dunning-Kruger effect. Well, it's not very accurate. And if there was some sort of Dunning-Kruger effect here, then you could easily just show me, I could think I'm the smartest guy in the room all day, but if you just proved otherwise, that would be a whole different story. But the fact is, I'm literally reading to you the official narrative. Like, this isn't even, you can't even really argue that anything. I don't even know what you would argue here. I didn't make this up. In the pamphlet, he describes anti-friar attacks as a psychosis, a pathological disorder, and an irrational phobia. That's me? I made that up? You're adding a lot to it. Am I? Which part am I wrong about? Gee, I'd love to know. See, it's always strange to me that instead of actually just like being the adult correct, because I'm wrong, you're the one that's right. Being the one that's in the better position, you'd think you'd just show. You'd just be like, no, you're wrong because of this, and this is why. Like, you even attempted to kind of sort of with your Dunning-Kruger effect, that another one of these friar tactics. This is something that seemingly started going around maybe a year ago or so, where they started putting out these videos about the Dunning-Kruger effect, and then at the same time you have these friars constantly making this argument like they smart. Oh, I'm so smart. I come up with the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's stupid. It's stupid. And even, like I say, if it was true, then it would be easy to prove. But the fact that this is the best that ever comes my way, something. I'm providing official sources and then talking about them, potentially debunking them. Why don't you just back? It would be so much easier than this weird crybaby obsessive bullshit you do. But I'm watching and going, he's right. If he was wrong, they would tell him. These guys seem to be doing everything but telling me exactly what I'm wrong about and how and why I'm wrong. And there are people that are going to notice that, like, wait, why don't they just tell him? If I'm sitting here arguing about what the best TV show is, and you come in here trying to talk about colors, I mean, what the fuck's the point? Let's see. Yeah, this is the last few minutes. You're doing a lot more than reading. Yeah, I'm reading what it says and talking about it. Like, how do you do it? You don't just read something and that's the way it is. And if anything, like, this is the thing, like, this is why I put it out there for you guys. I don't want you to have any doubts. So any questions, any concerns, anything that comes up that goes against the narrative, point it out, bring it up. I'm not some Christian that just wants you to have faith even though you have lots of questions. That's stupid. But this is, this is pretty fucking standard shit right here. Any of you can look it up. And if I'm adding to this or whatever I'm doing, again, if I'm wrong, by all means, tell me. Tell me how I'm misconstruing, describing anti-friar attacks as psychosis, a pathological disorder, and an irrational phobia. What am I misconstruing there? And now you're ignoring pushback. Am I? Gee, I thought I was meeting it head on and flat out addressing what you were saying. But yeah, see, this is where that arrogance comes in, right? Because I always say, prove me wrong. Come in, tell me what I'm wrong about. And there's always a few people that come through, and for some arrogant ass reason, they think they just say things. Never mind all arguments I may have. I'm just going to ignore them because random dumb person said something somebody else has said a zillion times. But they said it, so that must make it true. How dare you go into any argument thinking like, I only have to make one point. I don't have to have backup arguments. I don't have to be able to handle objections or anything like that. I just need to say one thing and that's the end. Like, who's that dumb? And I think, you know, a lot of us are that dumb because we've been made to be. They need us. The narratives they provide us are so stupid. I mean, if you really think about the idea of the Earth flying through space, like, it's just stupid. It's the idea that the magical thing, that gravity force that makes us stick to the planet, unless we jump, that makes the revolve around each other. I mean, the Guy Williams Big Bang Theory is ridiculous. And the thing is, I'm not like embellishing anything or exaggerating. I'm just breaking it down. I'm just saying, you know, like they tell us things, but then they don't tell us the details. So I'm telling the details that would have to exist for the narrative to be true. So for those that believe in the Big Bang, you believe that everything everywhere, everything that you can see, everything you can't see, the infinite universe, the billions of stars, the trillions of planets, the bajillions of just things everywhere in the universe, all of it, all of the matter, including maybe, you never get this answer. I don't know if it's including all the black stuff or if it's called the singularity. All the matter in the universe was condensed down into something smaller than a match head. That's what they say. Now, again, is the match head sitting in the big empty warehouse? Or is it like a match head just sitting on like a blank piece of paper or something? There's nothing. Either way, you don't know. You're not. This is literally the Bible and the Big Bang. They're the same story. This one has, you know, they're told a little differently, more details than the other one does. The Big Bang has a lot more details. Uh-oh, did they shut off the comment section? I think they might have shut off the comment section, y'all. But you think that all the matter in the universe was condensed down into this singularity. And it's just pushing on itself, just pushing and cramming. And I mean, it's a lot of stuff. So you would have to imagine there would be a lot of pressure holding all of the matter everywhere. Like, think about the house that you're in being condensed down into something smaller than a match head. That's just your house. Now think about all the houses on your street. Thing you've ever touched, all the garbage, everything, it's all condensed down into this smaller than a match head. So the pressure was enormous. And eventually, after who knows how long or what triggered it or anything like that, the singularity explodes. Boom. And it sends out stardust, debris in every direction. Now, real big hole in this narrative first pops up here. Well, another one of the big holes, I should say. When you think about like I don't know what the official terminology is, but like the space ratio, right? If the thing is the size of a marble, it's like think about my 600-pound life, right? And how damn near everyone, including the females on that show, they're always balding, right? Because their heads have gotten so fat that the follicles in between, each follicle, normally those things are so pushed together that full head of hair, but for them, so fat that the hair's like spread apart. They look balding, and they're balding for other reasons too, but that's part of it. If you take something the size of a marble, by the time it gets to be the size of, even a basketball, like if pieces are exploding out from here, they're all going to be much further apart. The further away from the explosion that you go, the further apart all of the debris is going to be from each other. It's just common. Right? If you're like this and you're going out, actually you're just going to keep getting further and further apart. And that's this small little circle can't make a giant circle. Each piece is going to be spread further and further apart the further you go. But because of gravity was making collapse in on itself to form the singularity. But now gravity has been fractured, and it's now a bunch of like swirly pearly whirly pools out in space. And so, the way they say the Big is the Big Bang then there's a dark period. There's the flash, then there's the dark period, then there's where all the debris comes out. The debris is flying. There are these whirly gravity pools that start collecting all of the dust, all the space debris, and swirling it into the center, where once it's in the center, it for some reason starts clumping, right? It's not like it's more, it's not like it's wet or anything, so it's clumping and then it's drying. It's just, I guess the pressure inside, the gravity is so strong that it's bonding all of these microscopic little pieces of stardust into a big giant foil ball, Pee-wee style, right? And eventually, these giant clumps get to a certain size, not a standard size, mind you. There's a great video, a goofy ass video that shows the moon, Earth, Jupiter, the sun, the next size stars, the next biggest size, brown dwarf, white dwarf, and then it shows a bunch of different stars. And by the time it gets to Betelgeuse, the star Betelgeuse, you can't even see our sun anymore. Our sun is so small next to Betelgeuse, you can't even see it. It's like a piece of dust, next to my head or something like that, right? That's what That's what the official narrative tells you. So that means the clumps can be as small as our sun, which is huge compared to us, or as large as Betelgeuse. Now, Betelgeuse is so big, you can't comprehend how big it is. According to the narrative, it's like a gazillion times larger than our sun. And you can't comprehend how big our sun is. Because our sun is like 400 times the size of the earth. And you can't comprehend how big our earth is. Just some small little piece of shit. You just fathom that size. You can't do it. You can't understand it. But clumps be damned. You get all these different clumps that form. And for reasons, like remember, they say that the sun and then has layers to it, jello mold layers to it. So somehow in the clumping process, a core was created and then other stuff was going on. And at some point, these clumps lit themselves on fire. They're in a vacuum. They're in the vacuum of space, no gravity, no air. Well, they are the gravity, I guess. But no air, oxygen, no fuel for the fire. But somehow these stars light themselves on fucking perpetual nuclear fire for. And so now that you have these large clumps of fire flying around, gravity shows up again. And this time, in concentric rings, like a fried egg, not rings that go all around and all. And this is the stupidity that contradicts the intelligence that you're supposed to have with this. I always say, the more you know, the dumber you sound, right? Because I might be using funny terms, but this nothing I'm saying is not official. This is the official narrative. So now you have concentric rings around the fire clumps in the fried egg pattern because there's a top and a bottom somehow. And within those rings are little gravity whirlpools again. Each ring has its own gravity whirlpool. So now more debris is being sucked into these gravity pools, fused together, and then in cases like the Earth, because the Earth and Jupiter are different. Jupiter is a gas giant, whatever the fuck that means. You know, it's got a small, solid metal core, and then a huge layer of hydrogen, compressed, a huge layer of liquid hydrogen, gaseous hydrogen, candy shell of compressed hydrogen. That's what they say Jupiter is. Like, it's fucking stupid because, you know, remember when they tried to show you that meteor crashed into Jupiter? And they have this footage, and it shows them up and then slams into Jupiter, and it was so devastating that if that would have hit the Earth, that would have destroyed everything. Blah 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 blah. Well, what did it hit in Jupiter? I thought Jupiter was a gas giant. But anyway, what happens in the case of the Earth? The clumps all form a ball, but this time the inside of the ball becomes the fire pit, the molten fire pit, while the outside stays rock. And it starts raining for reasons. And the rain fills up all the oceans and the water and the lakes and stuff. And then, according to science, another rock falls out of the sky and lands in the water. And whatever, there was a single-celled organism that survived that trip. And now it's in this big, giant fucking water. It's water. Now, let's get there, huh? How does all the bugs and shit? What we know is that at some point, life started. The single-celled organism became a double-celled organism, which became a quadruple cell, and it just kept doubling and multiplying until it became a thing that produced another thing, and then those things came together to produce another thing, and that happened over millions of years and populated the ocean with all sorts of fish and shit. Fish and whales and dolphins, and I don't know if the swimming dinosaurs yet, but at some point a fish, two fish, actually have to be two fish, it'd have to be a male and they're looking at do it, sweetheart. I think we can do it. And she's like, but everybody else dies. And he's like, yeah, but we won't, because we have faith in God. So then she's like, yeah, you're right, sweetheart. I'm covered in the blood of Jesus. So are you. Jesus fish. That's why Jesus is the two fish. It's where the sign comes from, actually. It's proof.
Man.
But they walk out of the water and they can fucking breathe. What?
Fucking bear crawling out of the crawl space.
Don't care.
Oh
They can breathe. And now they decide to start, they procreate, and now their children can also breathe out in the air, and they are procreating, and essentially there are there's a retardation at some point of some sort of gene that creates this narrative that that creates the next evolution, so to speak. So eventually those two fish into all the dinosaurs. Lizards. They turn into big giant fucking lizards. Like multiple stories tall lizards. They infant is the because its body wouldn't be able to support the weight. But somehow dinosaurs were able to. And not only were they able to grow really big, and some have little arms but big mouth, and some have spiky spikes on the back, and some have their big long necks and their big long tails that they use like a whip. Not only did they do all that, some of them learned how to fly. Yeah, they just evolved. They just evolved into they could fly now. Imagine what it was like to be the evolution before you could actually do it. The one hey, look, we have wings and all that, but we don't have some sort of something that allows it. The bones are a little too heavy or something. So this one dies, but then the next evolution, imagine how shitty that would be to be the one to fly. Yeah, I was born 10 years before him. He can fly. I can't. We weren't evolved yet enough. Yeah, damn kids. Yeah, get off my lawn. But now you have a planet that's full of big, giant fucking monsters. Land, sea, and air. Monsters are everywhere. And they're really, really successful. I mean, supposedly they were around for like 300 million years or something. 400 million years of dinosaurs living on the earth. Until another rock falls out of the... But this... Yeah. Seems like a weird time for my feed to just start. Yeah. Seems like a weird time for my feed to just start randomly fucking up, huh? Isn't that strange? I'm sure it's just nothing. I'm sure it's just my imagination, right? The fact is, somebody shut off the comments from my perspective. That's just my imagination. I'm not being censored. I'm not being fucked with. It's just all my imagination, you guys. This isn't the green flag telling you you found that right person. You should be sharing this shit, liking this shit. Nope. And I'm losing likes at the same time. They're taking away my likes too. I've lost 2 likes in the last 10 minutes. Always fun how this works, isn't it? Anyway. Another rock falls from the sky, wipes everything out, creates an ice age that lasts... Oh, we're back. Now wait. Here comes the... So I have to push try again. Hang on a sec. No? We're not going to do that this time? So the fish that would exist, that that survive through winters and shit like that, they only do that because there's a reprise from it. But if there's no sunlight getting through anything and it's this big fucking ice ball Earth for millions of years, all the vegetation dies, everything dies. Except, I guess, another single-celled organism, when it finally does thaw and melt, when it finally dethaws, when the Earth finally dethaws, we like that word at this house. Gotta go dethaw some. When the Earth finally dethaws,
when's it freezing again?
The single-celled organism starts over again, and it remakes all the fish and all that shit. And then this time, the fish that come out of the water and start making babies, they're like, hey, you know how design was super successful and lasted well over 300 million years and would have kept going if that rock didn't fall out of the sky? Yeah. Let's do the complete opposite. Let's make a bunch of warm-blooded mammals that live all of much smaller animals. They live all over all the different environments and shit. Because, shit's all moved around now. But we'll make a whole bunch of shit. We'll just make the fish turned into lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. And elephants and sheep and cow and chickens and, well, we don't know where birds come from.
Well, dinosaurs.
Right.
Dinosaurs.
Maybe a couple of the dinosaurs survived and turned into birds.
Well, no, dinosaurs all had feathers. Remember?
Something. Who fucking knows?
They had feathers.
Who fucking knows? Who fucking knows? But the fish turn into everything, and the one thing they turn into, especially, are chimpanzees. And the chimpanzees, unlike everything else, they continue to evolve and they turn into people. There aren't any tiger people. There are no lion people. The only thing that continued evolving were the chimpanzees that turned into the people that basically lived the same way for thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of years until a time when we still were living in like thatch roofs and donkey ink, riding around on donkeys and shit, but we somehow in the last few thousand years figured out how to build incredible structures that would last forever and couldn't be replicated. But that's neither here nor there. Because, basically around 100 years ago, and less than that, we started really tinkering with suddenly we can go to space. After all this time, we finally figure out how to go to space. By 1969, we land people on the moon, supposedly. And here we are 60 years later, no further, but we know everything. We can use our satellite telescopes to basically look at the Big Bang, because the way that they say the way that light travels and shit, if you look in a certain direction, you basically look backwards in time. But that's the official, that is, for all of you science believers, that's the Big Bang Theory. You have to believe that. With you all of the links in the description, there's lots of good shit there, especially the website where you get the free download, www.the-bilderberg, bilderberg-group.com. And, check out Hollywoodism, read Israel, Hayom, Bottom of Darkness. There's lots of receipts in the description that are must looks. So go check that shit out. Otherwise, come back and I'll make it so you're allowed to talk to me. Because right now you're not allowed to talk to me. Not by my doing, but we'll fix it. So come right back. If you gotta go, have a great day, and pedophiles, kill yourself.